Abigail was instinctively afraid of Mother, the woman always wearing a stern and somewhat angry expression. She was usually either clunking somewhere in a hurry, as if it was someone's doomsday, or she was sitting straight-backed in the parlor's stiff armchair, constantly looking at the door as if she were waiting. Whatever she was waiting for never seemed to come. Dinner was an intimidating sport, with both her parents looming over her, stiff and formal. Neither had anything to say to her. They barely had anything to say to each other. Dinner would be served to them, put on their plates for them, eaten roughly by her mother and oddly quietly by her father, and the most that was said to her was, "You may go," by her mother almost as soon as she'd finished her meal. Abigail found that out when she stayed too long one time, squirming in her seat slightly and trying to say she wanted more food, but before she could get the second word out, her mother reprimanded her. "Do not squirm in your seat, or you won't be accepted into better company." Her mother had paused, looking down at her own half-empty plate. Without sparing a glance at Abigail, she'd muttered, "Leave us." When Abigail hesitated, a little frightened to make the wrong move, her mother's cold gaze told her to get out of the chair, now. These situations didn't bother her too much, aside from the immediate tension and fear. Abigail didn't really think of this woman as her mother. She thought of her as a woman in the house. She tried to forget about her presence altogether in between awkward and intimidating meetings. Most of Abigail's time was spent in her room or outside with the governess. The governess had to teach her how to play, with toys and without them. Abigail preferred to sit and look around and think. The governess didn't like this. But Abigail didn't feel like a little girl. She would play hopscotch with a straight face, sitting down in the middle of the board when she was done with it. And little dolls didn't interest her. She wanted to try things with them, like taking out strands of their hair and braiding them separate from the dolls, or taking off their clothes and just playing with the clothes. The governess told her she was supposed to play with those things on the dolls, not off. But Abigail had no interest in the dolls themselves, only in what she could keep from them.